And then it hit me.
Little.
That's why every time I have to go in for my pap
Yes.
test, I fall apart.
Yes.
Well, all of a sudden it clicked. So I think that we really come to a place where we can see afterwards the ways that our abortion affects us once we're willing to kind of open the door and begin to look at the issue. The problem is opening that door seems so scary because we seem like we're the only one that's feeling it because nobody's talking about it. You know, we think we're the only one. You think, you know, everybody else you know, well, if they had an abortion, they don't seem to be affected.
I can guarantee you one thing today. Every person watching this show has been affected by abortion. By your sister's abortion, your best friend's abortion, your brother's girlfriend's abortion. Every person watching this show has been affected by it and is affected by it.
And the important thing to do then is to say to those people that you know that have had abortions and you know, just talk about the fact that you saw this television show and you heard a woman speaking about her own abortion experience and that you didn't know help was available. You didn't know that the pain could be kind of hidden but deep, and that if they ever want to talk about it, you aren't going to judge them, but that you're there to listen. And that you found out there's a website that you can go for help or a phone number you can call. Be prepared, because the reality is that you never know when somebody's going to be jolted out of their denial or when they're going to have a crisis in their life that will, if you will, kind of bring them out or bring the issue to the surface. Oftentimes it's the death of a family member.
Could you mention that number again for help?
Yeah, 800-395-HELP.
Okay. Even for women that have been post-aborted?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you've had an abortion, if you've had an abortion, they will connect you to help. And, you know, like I was saying about if the death of a loved one, a death of a parent or something will often precipitate the memory that you've been trying to keep down, it will bring it back out.
Well, Selby, in his book, this is called The Morning After, Help for Post-Abortion Syndrome, he says that pretty much every woman who has an abortion is going to have a depression. I mean, some post-abortion syndrome, actually he said the younger you are, the more traumatic it can be because you don't have the emotional, experience, if you will, life experience that you would at 22, 24. So it's even, you know, but every woman's going to have a depression. And some of the ways that I've seen it dealt with: drugs, alcohol. I've been blessed to have gone to jail like the apostles, I say, sitting in front of an abortion clinic. And all the women came up to me and said, well, I had my abortion and it was fine. Well, when did you start that crack cocaine, sweetheart? You know what I mean? Like, it's like they don't relate it all. They don't drug abuse or why they're in jail or why their life's... So a woman is going to have, she could have possible depression, drug abuse, drug and alcohol abuse, dysfunctional relationships. And that's
just a general numbing. Anorexia is very common, or bulimia, where, in other words, what you're doing is that you're subtly and without even being aware that you're doing it, you're undermining yourself because you are, in a sense, wanting to punish yourself. You can't resolve the fact that on the one hand you feel relief because your problem is over, and the other part of you that's simply feeling like, wait a second, I'm a mom, and I killed my baby, or I allowed them to kill my baby. I think the women who probably suffer the most are the women who really want their child, but the people around them, coerce is maybe too strong a word, but strongly urge a woman to have an abortion. They say things like, you know, you won't be able to finish your schooling if you're pregnant. Like somehow if you are pregnant, you're instantly dumb, and we know that's not true. They say, you know, well, you'll have time to have a baby after you finish school, or, you know, you just started your job. You really can't afford it right now. Boyfriends will say you have to choose between me or the baby, or, you know, we'll have a baby later, now is not the time.
Why is adoption never?
Your families will say, you know, you're too young to be a parent. And so it's subtle coercion, it's subtle encouragement. Meanwhile, this girl wants to keep her baby. Adoption is really, unfortunately, I've actually had girls say to me, if I give my baby up for adoption, and they say it that way, if I give my baby up for adoption, I'm abandoning my baby, I'm a bad mother. I'd rather abort my baby. But the reality is, in today's world, adoption is really a great option. Noelle just had our newsletter ran 2 stories about adoption, one from the woman's perspective who placed her baby, and one from the little boy's perspective now that he's 10 and knows he's adopted, and how grateful he is that his mommy loved him that much to place him for adoption. And the family he's happy that he's with. And, adoption is completely different now, but we still see it the way it was in the 60s, where, a woman was sent to a home, she had the baby and it was taken from her, and she never saw it again. She didn't have a choice in the matter. The whole concept behind being pro-choice is the whole idea of having choices. Choice implies more than one. So let's look at those choices. Unfortunately, we need to do better on the adoption side, but I think we're doing.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but our
That's
time
okay.
is really dwindling
It's been
down
fun.
here. I have been so thrilled with you today. I just want to learn all I can to help all my friends and all the women I know. I want you to come back again.
I'd be happy to.
I wish we had enough time. I wanted to hear all 5,000 stories you heard. You know what I mean? I want to know what every woman is suffering. I want to know, and I want you to share that and share so much more. And then you said you have an upcoming campaign that you'll be able to share with us then.
Yeah, I'd love to. And in our brochure,
so
we have
women
comments.
like me who I've had a spontaneous abortion, as they say.
Miscarriage.
Can we come to your event, or is it just?
No, actually, you can't. And I'm happy that you can't, because it's not a pleasant experience to have to stand up and say that I chose to kill my baby or I aborted my baby. That is not.
I can't just come and watch from
You
across the border?
definitely can
Across
come
the
and
sea.
support us.
Oh.
But the women who stand
Right.
up and give their testimony
Oh,
are women
yes.
who
Oh,
stand
yes.
up and say, I had an abortion and here's how it affected me. You're welcome to come, and I'd love to come back and talk to you more.
Oh, I
We're going to
can't
do
wait.
an event here in Pittsburgh in Market Square in January. So
Of 2005, January of 2005.
I'd love to come back.
We'll talk about that and so much more. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
it was
you
my
so
pleasure.
much for coming
Pleasure.
today. I really appreciate it.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, help me stand. I am tired, I am weak, and I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is all